Welcome back to Matt's Garage DIY. Today, we're going to be taking a look at some 410 self-defense ammo. So in the past, the 410 has sort of been a bit of an underrated shotgun, being kind of categorized as a kid's gun due to its light recoil, but I suggest otherwise. Yes, it has a very manageable recoil, but due to having less shot and a smaller shot pattern, I think this can be a very challenging gun to shoot and ideal for a more experienced shooter. So the 410 has seen a recent surge in popularity, leading to a shortage of ammo, but it has also led to a lot of people questioning, is this caliber, is this gun any good for self-defense? Well, today, that's what we're going to take a look at. So I've managed to get my hands on 3 types of ammo marketed as self-defense ammo. First up, we have the Hornady Critical Defense, basically a hollow point slug followed by 2 triple-aught pellets. Next up is the Winchester Defender. This has 4 plated discs and 16 BBs. And then lastly, Remington Ultimate Defense, which is just 4 triple-aught pellets. Not quite an apples to apples comparison. The Winchester Defender is a 3-inch shell, the other 2 are 2.5s, but that's what was available. So that's what we're going to work with. So we're going to take a look at 3 things. First off, I'm going to cut these shells open, show you what exactly is inside each of the different brands or manufacturers. Second off, we're going to take a look at penetration. And thirdly, we're going to take a look at pattern spread. Basically, numbers 2 and 3, or the second and third points we're going to be looking at, are super important. That is kind of one of the key or fundamental rules of shooting, is being aware of what is between you and your target, around your target, and behind your target. So penetration versus over penetration, as well as pattern spread, are 2 very important things that we need to be looking at. We're going to see how each of these performs. We're going to try this at both 5 and 10 yards. Second thing we're going to take a look at is penetration. I have got a bunch of antifreeze jugs. That's not washer fluid in there, it's water and food coloring. We're going to use this as a sort of simulation for penetration. Not quite the same as ballistic gel. Roughly, I'm going to say 8 inches of water, which will be 2 of these jugs, is approximately equivalent to about 6 inches of ballistic gel. What I have done also on the front is that I have glued on 2 layers of denim plus a pocket. So basically 3 layers of denim on the front, and then we're going to have those jugs stacked up like that. We're going to see how that penetrates and what kind of pattern we get. So, critical defense, 5 yards. All right, so critical defense. There's our impact right there. You can see all 3 projectiles coming out the back of that first jug. So through the denim, through 2 layers of plastic, 4 inches of water, into the next jug again, all 3 penetrate. So we come to the backside, and I actually kind of put that together. There may have been 1 that came out, but I actually believe that was just the pressure, the internal pressure, that caused the jug to burst. So no penetration through the full 8 inches. Remington Ultimate Defense, 5 yards. All right, Remington Ultimate Defense. Felt like that hit quite a bit harder. Actually blew the denim right off, but penetrated all the layers of denim through the jug, out the backside of the first jug, into the next jug. You got all 4 holes still going in, and then I have 3 coming out the backside. The 4th pellet was actually contained inside. You can see it has flattened quite a bit. Actually looks like there's a bit of a denim pattern on it. And then, as we come around over here, you can see on my paper 3 of the pellets, still good grouping, but have penetrated through and stuck into the plywood on the backside. Winchester Defender. Okay, Winchester Defender. Penetrated through the denim. Everything came out the backside. There was none of the pellets were even captured in that first jug. Into the second jug, straight through out the backside of the second jug. Again, none of the BBs were inside here, so no discs, no BBs. So that's gone through full 8 inches of water, so easily 6 inches of ballistic gel. Again, with that 3 layers of denim on the front side. And then looking at my paper, you can see there's basically everything is just kind of continued through out the backside. Hornady Critical Defense, 10 yards.
Hornady Critical Defense at 10 yards. Not sure what the difference is, but this time it definitely went right through both jugs. You can see I've got 3 impact points on the backside. Obviously tore right through everything in the first jug and then an entire milk jug. So that's probably closer to another 6 inches of water at the back. And you can see right here, there's the hole on the backside that it left. So still a pretty reasonable group as it comes out that backside. And then kind of starts to spread out.
Remington Ultimate Defense, 10 yards.
Remington Ultimate Defense, added an extra jug in there just because it hit pretty hard the first time. And again, no problem through 4, 8, and then another 6. So it's at about 14 inches of water plus 6 layers of plastic and the denim. No problem, punched right out the backside. I can see all 4 pellets kind of went through into my paper. So that would easily be penetrating 9 inches of ballistic gel.
Winchester Defender, 10 yards.
Winchester Defender, again, right through the first jug, no problems with that. Second jug, through. 6 of the BBs did end up stopping in this one, but like 6 trapped inside there. And then the discs and remaining BBs kind of went right through this jug. By the time they're coming out the backside, though, not much impact on my paper. I've got one kind of mark there. It's a larger mark, so I'm going to say that was probably from one of the discs itself. But really no kind of noticeable impact beyond that. So, the what we were saying, 14 inches of water, 6 layers of plastic, and the denim pretty much is stopping the majority of these as far as, kind of any concerns as far as overpenetration. We're just going to put up some paper now. We're going to take this out to 15 yards, see what sort of pattern we have, because certainly at the 5 and 10 yards, I have no concerns with pattern. Everything is kind of staying within this sort of milk jug size area. So next up, I'm going to put up these pieces of paper. I think I'm going to put them up kind of vertical. So 14 inches wide, about 2 feet tall. And we'll see what that looks like when we shoot that at, we'll say 15 yards and then maybe 20.
Vertical Defense, 15 yards. Vertical Defense, 20 yards.
All right, 15 and 20 yards. You can see sort of the spread that we're getting in our shot pattern of both of those. I believe this was the slug for the 20 yards. That did look like a bit more of an oval hole, so I think it is probably starting to tumble a little bit at that 20 yards, but still hit pretty hard right through this kind of 3/4 inch OSB at 20 yards. So there's a
Remington Ultimate Defense, 15 yards. Remington Ultimate Defense, 20 yards.
All right, Remington Ultimate Defense at 20 yards. You can see definitely kind of getting some spread concerns. I don't think that I'd want to be shooting this at 20-yard mark. 15 yards, still really good group. 20 yards, maybe not so much.
Remington Ultimate Defense, 20 yards, take 2.
All right, we just did a second take on the Remington Ultimate Defense at 20 yards. Kind of felt like that shot maybe was pulled a little bit just based on how everything was sort of over to this side. Did it again, so that I've marked it with the stars this time. There, and there. So all within kind of our target paper, but definitely getting to be a pretty large spread. Would not want to go at all past 20 yards with that Remington Ultimate Defense, but definitely packs a punch.
Winchester Defender, 15 yards. Winchester Defender, 20 yards.
Okay, Winchester Defender, 15 and 20 yards. 15 yards, pretty much everything was on there except for, you can see I've got these couple arrows. Looks like one of the BBs actually missed at 15 yards. Out to 20 yards, I didn't actually notice a huge increase in the spread. The pellets were there, here, and here. So really good on those sort of plated discs as far as like the spread on those. I counted 10 of the BBs actually hitting my paper backstop, so that means that either 6 are sort of stacked up, gone through some existing holes, or have gone outside of this paper. So again, you really want to be careful with the Defender as well. Anything out to or beyond that 20-yard range.
Anyway, let's talk about the results. I believe that the Winchester did the best job as far as penetrating without over-penetrating. Basically, the three jugs kind of contained everything. Anything that came out the back after that really had very little velocity left to it. My concern with this is that once you get out to that 20-yard mark, the pattern is starting to get a little bit unmanageable or a little bit unsafe. Next up was the Remington. I felt that this hit the hardest. It certainly penetrated all 3 jugs, no problem, and did dig into the plywood beyond. I'm not really sure how much energy it has by the time it's coming out the back, but you do want to be aware if you're using the Remington, there is always that possibility for over penetration. But what I did like about this was that even when we stretch this out to that 20-yard mark, we're still only looking at about a dinner size plate pattern. So not worried about the pattern kind of getting unmanageable or out of control. And then lastly, we have the Hornady Critical Defense. Wasn't super pleased with this. Kind of found the results were a little inconsistent. When I shot the 2 jugs first, didn't come out the back of the second jug, or only one of the pellets maybe came out the back of the second jug. And then on the next test where I had sort of a antifreeze jug and a milk jug, went right through. So I feel like maybe the results are a little inconsistent as well. That slug is not rifled, so that just kind of starts falling almost immediately. I believe, in fairness, that that Hornady Critical Defense specifically is designed to be used in a rifled barrel from a pistol. So take that for what it's worth. This was my least favorite. Anyways, there you have it. There's the results. Thanks for staying tuned for another video from Matt's Garage DIY, and we'll see you on the next one.